Iman Shumpert got caught with 6 ounces of bud in Texas, right?
But where?
But well, actually, he got caught in trying to get to California.
In the airport.
In the airport, yeah.
Right. So I would say, like, if you're gonna do a crime, like, there's a couple places you just don't want to do it. Like all these people that are like airplane punchers, like, good luck with that. You just want to do something next time.
What? I feel like shit was going so well for Iman.
I like Iman.
Yeah, and is it his podcast is what's his podcast name again? It's a really clever name. Oh man,
I can't
I've
say that
always
I've
liked
everything. Yeah.
everything about his podcast, his persona and media.
I love his takes. I think he tends to be very fair. And when he's kind of being more judgmental, I feel like Iman. I like how he talks. So I've always been a fan of him. I've been a fan of their family. I think they're like a beautiful family. So he just didn't register to me as somebody that would have 6 ounces in the bag. And then they said that he had like a loaded mag on him too. Like, what's going on? What you going through?
Yeah, he had the 9mm Glock.
Why? Like, why would you? Again, listen, why do these people why don't they have like bag handlers and things like that?
They don't have the guys.
Why are you the one? Yeah, that's
I don't know. I think sometimes that is not as trustworthy as a situation as you want it to be. Like, I think it's actually like a luxury to have a person like that in your camp who can do those things. And like reliably so it doesn't compromise you. They don't go run into the TMZs of the world. Like, I think that is a really that's like when you're fortunate and you have people you can trust, and that's that's not very common. That's like 10% of the time.
Well, yeah, but then there's also people that have been in the business for a long time, and those individuals maybe they can sign an NDA, they can be professional, and they are I mean, a lot of those people are also like retired detectives of some sort, or security. They've worked at very high levels, even like on a political level. So I don't think that person is impossible to find, but I think maybe those people, what they can do is tell you what not to do, and it's just up to you as the individual that has the most to lose to listen to them.
I don't know. I think they got freewheeling I think Iman got freewheeling with the fact that weed's very legal here, and thought and didn't give thought to how much he could have. Like, that is the operating with impunity type of attitude, where I was like, maybe he just didn't know and thought that like shit was all good.
I think I can actually believe there was a level of ignorance, because you can fly from Cali to New York and have edibles in your bag. You can have liquids and everything. Like, it's not an issue at all. Like allegedly I've flown back and forth to places, because I'm not really a weed person, but I've flown back and forth, and people be like, yo, come pick me up from this, because Cali dispensary. I'm like, yeah, whatever, and it has not been an issue at all today.
I think the amount is really
the amount that he kind of took for granted. I would hope that if I were in a position of his, at least, if I wanted to fly with that amount, I mean, I would think that he would want to fly private in that sense. But
he's gotta be flying private though, right? Like,
I don't know.
He's not flying commercial, right?
I assumed it was commercial just because they said it was at the airport. I don't know what airport that was flying out of.
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, if I think about it, Iman Shumpert, when I look at the resume, NBA champion, he's played as recently as 2021, right? Tiana Taylor's his wife, right? So even if they didn't have cash on hand to fly private, I feel like they've got the hookup. They know people in powerful places enough to be like, yo, let me take the PJ. I'm just going for a quick jaunt to LA out of Cali. Like, I'm sure he's not flying private, right? Like, I mean, he's not flying commercial. There's no way. There's no way.
Yeah, I just wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't see why he would do that. I think that once you get to a certain level, I would think that, and I'm not trying to do that to make these people seem like they're not amongst the people. But I just even think from just a safety point, you wouldn't want to. It seemed like it would cause too much chaos. I still think because remember with Iman, he has a whole different lens on him now too. Because while we know him from basketball, there's that segment of the population is like, oh my God, he won Dancing with the Stars. He's so amazing. Yeah. So they know him in like Yeah. So he has
And
like
I mean,
like
he's both things, right? Like
yeah,
he's got good
yeah.
footwork. He's always been a good defender. Shout out to the New York Knicks. I was super excited. The Knicks drafted him. Like when they drafted him, I was like, yo, this kid's good, man. He got a decent jump shot. He developed that through his career. He was always a good defender, like I said. And then he joined the Cavaliers from the Knicks after having some great seasons. So I mean, he's always been someone who goes to work. He does the work, right? And he's thorough. He's a straight up type of personality, straight up type of guy, family man. Like I feel honestly, I feel sympathy for him getting caught up like this because 6 ounces, it's not what 6 ounces was in the late 90s or early 2000s where
Right,
like that's a
exactly.
lot. It's like 6 ounces could be like that's me, that's my bag handler, like that's the crew.
Yeah.
That's 6 ounces ain't a lot, you know what I mean? That's 6 people. There's an ounce each for 6 people, and that's very reasonable to have.
He also looked, I mean, when you look at the mugshot, like, he looked, I don't know, I don't know if the word is that when he's scared. Maybe the word is like disappointed.
Yeah, like oh man, like
Yeah,
I
like
got
how did I
caught
get
up.
here? Yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Because I would say he's been on an upswing. I think he's been
Yeah.
on an upswing, and like it's similar to Brittany Griner where they're not household names. Like I don't think either of
No.
them are household names, but that's a great position to be in when you're not a household name, but you like live comfortably, you
Yeah.
make 6 figures, 7 figures, you can be on TV, like you can support your family and your lifestyle. That's like actually a terrific position to be
Yeah.
in. So it kind of feels like you fucked it up when you get caught for weed, like specifically.
Yeah. I feel terrible. Like that one just feels like somebody was probably too high and that's
No,
what
he was
happened
definitely
here.
high. He was definitely suited and couldn't
Yeah.
remember where the weed and what bag. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, just throw everything in. Like, we're getting on Kanye's jet anyway. They don't care. They're not gonna check
Yeah,
us.
like wasn't somebody was supposed to take this, in the Sprinter and drive it to said locale,
Right,
you
right.
know. In either case, honestly, free Brittany Griner and free Iman Shumpert.
Free Marshall. Listen, if we could free Kodak Black, like you said, if
It's
we could,
just yeah.
we could free Gucci Mane. We could free them. We could free them. It's okay.
Neither of these people are anything like Kodak Black for sure.